Jai Gurudev children, here we are going to see about Delhi Sultans. It's a short and mind map or concept map of the chapter. In the last chapter, New Kings and Kingdoms, we have seen a few kings who ruled over India and occupied most of the part of southern India, like Cholas, Rajputs. We have seen, and here we are going to see sultans, the sultans who came from outside, Islamic people who conquered India and started ruling. Okay, here I have here there are the timeline of those kings from 1130 to 1145. Rajputs, which is Pala dynasty, we have seen the last chapter also. He who first established Delhi as the capital. And the next is Chahamanas, that is Prithviraj Chauhan. Last chapter also we have seen he who defeated Muhammad Ghori, and later on Muhammad Ghori defeated him in the very next century itself. So he is Prithviraj Chauhan, and these two people have ruled before the entry of Delhi Sultans. And next is Turkish rulers. Here it is Iltutmish. Okay, he ruled. After his ruling, his daughter started ruling for a few times, which means she has got a very short time of period, since as she is a female there is gender distinction during that period. So it is not comfortable for rest of the kings to set the queen as a ruler. So very next short time of the period, she has removed from the throne by 1240. At least I think so. She has got very much of very low support among all other kings. Though she has brothers, she was well talented as compared to her brothers, so she was selected as a queen. And Minhaj-i Siraj, he was a chronicler of that period. In the first chapter itself, you have seen Minhaj-i Siraj. He was a chronicler, and he has also written in his book that being a woman as a ruler is not quite comfortable for the country. So immediately she was removed from the throne. So these are the rulers. And later on, after this, Khalji and Tughlaq dynasty, during it is a very notable thing, during Khalji's and Tughlaq dynasty only, they have expanded their kingdom. Not only in Delhi alone they were ruled, they were expanded their kingdom till the southern India, and in the northern part you could say till Bengal, Bihar, they have started extending their kingdom. And after their ruling, Lodi Sayyid dynasty have ruled for a short time of period until Mughal Empire get into it. Next, we are going to see how does we come to know about these rulers, these sultans, as like we have learned in the last chapter about Prashastis. It consists of all the Indian rulers who ruled, and about their prices. In similar way, sultans also had a book called Tariq or Tariq. It consists of histories of sultans, how did they rule the places, and this was written in Persian language. And here we are going to learn about garrison towns and hinterlands during Sultan's period. Here, the extension of Delhi sultans occurred under the rule of Ghiyasuddin Balban, Alauddin Khilji, and Muhammad Tughlaq. During this time only the expansion was held, because these rulers were very powerful on that time. At the time, garrison towns, it is a fortified settlements of soldiers. The soldiers will be settled there, so that in order to protect the borders of their kingdoms. And hinterlands are nothing but it is a city where plundering will takes place. Plundering is nothing but stealing the things from the place. So trading means nothing but around that city there will be a lot of villages, there only the agricultural produce or any cattle business or any industrial business will takes place, and they will produce the products and brought it into the city for selling. So mostly sultans had much more concentration in that areas in order to collect taxes as money, so in order to lead their kingdom. So these they were much more concentrated on hinterlands, and they tried to conquer all the places around the country like as hinterlands. And the next is how did they administer, that is Khaljis and Tughlaq, how did they administer their dynasties. So they said much more slaves came from outside of the country. They were also called bandagans. Both Khalji and Tughlaq followed to practice a method of slaves. Okay, they used to have slaves, much more slaves from outside the countries called bandagans, and later on they were called as clients. Okay, they used to that slaves wanted to work for the kingdom without getting any salary like money or anything else. Okay, they have to obey to the kingdom. And then they had land owners, or they were called as ikta or iktadar, and sometimes they were called as Mukti. The lands were called as Ikta, and the landholders were called as Iktadaras Mukti. And these people, what they do, Muktis means they were said to lead the military campaigns and also maintain law and order of that particular place. And these people are asked to collect the taxes, and that will be checked by the dynasty sultans, and also to be recorded. And chieftains, headman of the village, they were also asked to pay the taxes, and not asked to, and also they were forced to pay taxes. And how did they collect taxes in the villages and around their city means based on the cultivation of the crops. Okay, that was called as kharaj. About 50% of the peasant produce, that is farmers, what are they producing, 50% of their produce should be given to the sultanate. And cattle, what are the cattle business you are doing, for that also they have set a kind of tax. And the next is houses. If you are having own house, you are supposed to pay the taxes. Based on these things, sultans were collected taxes from the people, and they were ruled the place. And this was happened during Khaljis and Tughlaq dynasties, and at last we could see 15th and 16th century, it's end of Khaljis and Tughlaq dynasties. And after that Sayyid Lodi's dynasties were ruled for a very short time, and later on again Afghan and Rajput rulers also emerged during that period. But they were not that much occupied the places as compared to Khaljis and Tughlaq dynasties. The next chapter we will see about after this 15th and 16th century, during this after the period of Lodi and Sayyid, there comes Mughal emperors. Okay, though who are all called, you would have come across Akbar, Humayun, those peoples, such kind of rulers. Okay, how did they came into India and how did they started ruling? They were called as Mughal emperors after the Delhi Sultan. That is what we are going to see in the next chapter. Okay, it's a continuation. So while you are reading history, have a continuation with the chapter, so you could easily understand the entire concept and the story that was given in the history of India who have ruled. I'll tell you the short recap. In the first chapter you have seen how did India was identified by the people, and how did they have recorded the events that are happened in India and through 1,000 years. And the next is about new kings and kingdoms, how did they emerged in the various parts of the India. Then the next is after those Rajputs and Chera, Cholas, Pandyas, after those people emergence, the next is we are going to see about how did the people from outside like sultans, okay, from outside the country, they came to India, and how did they started conquering the places from the people those who are already ruling. The next we will see after this sultans period who has started capturing the places, who are going to capture the places. This is what the entire continuation of the history in short I could say. Okay, thank you children. I think it will be most useful for you, and I'll also send this as PDF. You just make a note of it. If you find difficult to read the entire chapter, this will be helpful for you to have a short recap of the chapter, dears. Thank you so much for the session. Thank you.